Well, hello. I'd like to welcome you to another exciting episode of Pens in Use. And thanks to the suggestion of a viewer, this is also going to be an episode of Pens and Juice. Yeah, you'll just have to hang on to see what I mean. But anyway, let's dive into it. If videos like this interest you, where I talk about fountain pens both new and old and at all price points, I would invite you to subscribe. And hey, do you always use ink in your pens? Let us know down in the comments. So let's dive into it. Alright, so these are the pens that I've been using this week. And yes, it's a little bit limited because I had Science Olympiad Regionals. I just haven't gotten around to filling any pens, but hey. So, I'll throw in a surprise at the end for you with four more pens. This is a Geha 731, which is the pen I discussed this week. Lamy 2000, which, yes, went with me to Regional Science Olympiad. No word yet on how that turned out. I have a Waterman Karen, a Senator President, and an almost empty, finally, Pilot Custom 823. As always, I will be doing my writing sample in my Cognitive Surplus notebook. Alright, and I'll just ask you to remember the date. If I say anything weird, just blame it on today's date. Alright, so my first pen that I discussed this week was the Geha 731. Nice little vintage, probably 1970s pen. It's a metal pen. With a, so to my surprise, I was sure it was a steel nib, but it turned out to be actually a gold nib. So, yay me! I've got a gold nib. So the Geha 731. I'm not sure of the nib size, but I am sure of the ink. It is Colorverse, which actually is behaving very well in this pen. I am enjoying it in this pen, as a matter of fact. To the point, you may see this pen again with this same ink once I empty out this fill. So anyway, Colorverse Golden Record. It's a special edition ink. I'm trying to use up inks, and this is a likely candidate to be used up because the bottle's almost empty. And I think the ink was just waiting for this pen because it's never really struck me as particularly amazing until I tried using it in this pen, and sweet. And it shows a bit of color change. My next pen went with me to Regional Science Olympiad and everywhere else. This pen is my constant companion all during the school year, and then I make it take a break in the summer so other pens that are good daily writers can get their moment. The Lamy 2000. And hey, school ends toward the end of May. Graduation is Memorial Day, so we're getting close to that time when this pen gets a little break. So the Lamy 2000, and the ink in it is Parker Quink. I started to write, I don't know what there. Quink Black, which is actually a pretty nice black. You know, I did a video on black inks a number of years ago. Was it summer of 2020? I did a all black ink special pens in use. Anyway, it's not the blackest of black inks, but it is a pretty reliable one. And the nice thing with this one is it's good on lower quality paper. Now, did you see how this ink up here changed colors? It went from being a red to being kind of a reddish brown. Hopefully the camera picked that up. Anywho, the next pen is a Waterman Karen. Just a very nice, it's a modern pen. Waterman makes some very good pens. I was recently impressed by the Waterman Allure, and of course I've long been impressed by this one. That was my fault there. Waterman Karen. This has a broad nib, and the ink in it is Diamine. I just want to see what I wrote last week's. Okay, I did do it right. I had somebody tell me it was Diamine Skull and Roses, and I suddenly wondered if I'd said the wrong name on my last video, but I don't think so. So Diamine Skull and Roses, it's a German special edition, and it's designed to have a lot of sheen. Sheen! So this paper isn't the most conducive to a sheening ink, but even on this paper it shows some sheen. That sounded like a tongue twister coming off of my tongue. My Senator President is almost empty, so I don't think it will be here next week. But it got set aside this week in favor of some of the other pens. So I only used a little this week. So Senator President. This has a broad gold nib. And the ink in it is Diamine Damson, which is a nice dusky purple. I feel like I need some brighter inks. So, Diamine Damson. There you go. It's not bad looking. And of course, my final pen. Yeah, it's been that kind of week. I mean, when you're at school all hours and long after school's over with, some of those hobbies go by the wayside, and messing with pens just hasn't been a thing this week. So my last pen is this also almost empty Pilot Custom 823. I also like this ink, although I wonder how much of it has to do with the name of the ink. This is in its broad nib. This ink is Krishna Writer's Night. Which is another purple, so I seem to be kind of purple heavy. Feel like I need an orange or something. And I'm going to add an orange to my collection here in just a minute, if you can be patient. I got to do my swatch first. There we go. And this ink has some shading. So those are a few of the pens and inks I was using this week. I actually emptied some pens out and didn't ink any others up. So I feel like we need some more pens. One of my viewers remarked I couldn't find the comment or if it was an email or what it was, because I was going to give them credit by name. But anyway, said that when they hear me say pens in use, they hear the words pens in juice. And I don't remember what day it is, but we're going to try out some pens and juice. So let's take a look at it. So those are the pens and inks I've been using this week, but I had a thought. I'm a chemistry teacher, among a lot of other things. I had a thought that we live in a world of a lot of color. A lot of things have color, not just fountain pen ink. And really, part of the power of a fountain pen is you can put in your own ink. So does it have to be ink? So let me set this aside. And I thought about this a long time and thought, how can I do this and how can I make this exciting? And I thought, let's use my 4 most expensive fountain pens, which, by the way, you bought me using advertising dollars through this channel. So my first pen actually lives inside this. It's a Nikaya. Let's pull back here. I pulled the wrong way. So my first pen is a Nakaya Decapod Twist. My second pen also usually lives in a protective little coverall. This is the most expensive pen you have bought me. Platinum Izumo, which I forgot I'm not on a tray, so he wants to roll. And then I have an Aurora 88. The Jove finish. And finally, a slightly older Parker Duofold. So, let's ink these up. Now, what I was thinking is, do you have to use ink? Can fountain pens work with other liquids? One of the things I like to do to try my pens, especially if I repair a vintage one, which we'll see what happened with Regional Science Olympiad. I may or may not start having time again to do that. But one of the things I always do to make sure they're working is I fill them with water and write with them. So why just water? And so one of the obvious ones that comes to me, I'm going to put the finest vintage into it. So I went to the grocery store, which now has a liquor store attached to it, and one of my former students was working there, which was awkward. And I asked for some very fine wine. So for $4.97, I've got a bottle of wine. We'll open it up. That is a nice color. Let's just see what it tastes. I'm kind of curious. I gotta know what it tastes like. I'm sorry. God, that's disgusting. I didn't expect it to taste that bad. That's disgusting. Okay, but it's going into a pen, so I guess the pen doesn't have to taste it. I don't know. So we've got a sample of wine here in my little souffle cup. I'm gonna have to go get a drink of water. Oh my God, that's disgusting. And this is not for humorous effect. Oh boy, did I not expect it to taste like that. Bah! Okay. For my next pen, I was looking at my selection of colors and I was thinking, yeah, you need something bright and cheery. So I went to the local Dollar General, because we've got one, and I found some orange juice. We'll put it under the camera here. And hey, I get an action figure to go with my orange juice. So, yeah. So how do I open this thing? Oh, twist to open. Okay. Do not remove toy from dome. What the hell's the point of it if I can't play with it? Whatever. And then the juice is further protected by a metal thingy. This better be some good stuff. I don't really buy juice. Oh, it's got a floaty. Yeah, I think with the floaty I'm not going to drink it. But it doesn't even smell good. It smells terrible. Okay. This is orange mango. So I guess it's not pure orange juice. But hey, it was cheap at Dollar General. And then I thought I would try some fruit punch. Where did I put that? Oh, it got shoved. So I actually got some brand name fruit punch. I went all out here. The expensive stuff. What kind of fruit and what makes it punch? I don't know. So we'll put that in its own little souffle cup. These are souffle cups, right? 1 ounce souffle cups. Hey, and it has 100% daily value vitamin C. Oh, it's flavored fruit juice. It's flavored juice drink. A lot of ingredients there. Must be from all the different types of fruit that are punching. And so that should be a nice red. And last but not least, yeah, I know I got too much purple, but the 2 purples are probably going to go empty this week, so we need a replacement purple. So again, I went with the expensive stuff this time. I got some expensive Kool-Aid drink that's grape, artificially flavored. Hey, water. Second ingredient is high fructose corn syrup. What is it in this fruit punch? Water, high fructose corn syrup. What about in the orange mango junk? Water. Hey, pear juice concentrate. Well, good for them. High fructose corn syrup isn't the second one on the list. And I've got the feeling that there's no ingredient... Sorry, I'm leaning and talking at the same time. Got the feeling there's no ingredient list on this wine. Grape wine with natural flavors. A light, refreshing taste of fresh, ripe citrus. What kind of citrus? I don't know. Citrus. Okay, grape juice. Oh, I forgot to pour it. Sorry. Get back here, pup. So we'll pour some... Oh my god! Contains 0% juice. Oh. That smells awful. Color isn't bad, though. So now that I've got my 4 juice samples, sorry, I dove off screen again. That Boone's Farm wine must be getting to me. Now, let's ink these pens up and see how they write. Not real impressed with how the colors are looking on this, but I have the feeling that the black background may be part of the problem. But let's take a look here. So we've got the wine, which looks black now. We've got the orange juice. That one might end up being kind of pale. We've got, which one was this? The fruit punch and the grape juice. So let's start with the wine. We'll put it in the Nakaya Decapod Twist. Kind of reminds me I used to be, well, I guess I am in the summer, but more active on the various fountain pen forums. Fountain Pen Network and Fountain Pen Geeks were my 2. I do actually have an account at each. And there was somebody who for a while kept posting about, what can you put in a fountain pen besides ink? And he would suggest different fluids. Blood at one point he's suggesting, and people actually started getting annoyed with him. So, I don't know. So, that's enough wine. Give it too much, you'll get drunk. So we'll set the wine aside, so I don't get confused. My next one is this very beautiful Platinum Izumo. For those of you who've wondered where it was, here you go. We'll do a nice fill on it. And again, just kind of curious to see how this goes. I really enjoy this pen. It's got that beautiful broad nib, or no, sorry, double broad nib, ground to a cursive italic. And I'm just curious to see what it... We'll wipe the nib off here. I'm just curious to see how it acts You know, is it going to show shading, or is this cheap orange juice junk going to be too thick for it? And I don't know the answer. Not thick, pale. What am I talking about? I don't know. So we'll set the orange juice aside. Have to set them aside because if I have them sitting here while I'm trying to film, I may make an accident. And now my Aurora 88. Just a wonderful model. You know, I like the vintage ones. Oh, I should have done a vintage pen. Well, too late now. I like my vintage version better, but this is a nice pen. Just so pretty. I don't know, I fell in pen lust with it, and thankfully I've got a YouTube channel that enabled me to afford it, because on what I make as a teacher, not so much. Try that again. Nothing went in the pen there. Is that a warning sign? I don't know. Hey, I'm a science teacher. We live dangerously in my world. Alright, so it kind of sticking to the nib there. Smells okay. Kind of fruity. Oh, because it's fruit punch. Ha 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 ha. Sure does want to stick to the nib, though. Well, they talk about some meals really stick to your ribs. And then for my last pen, a nice Parker Duofold with a finish they no longer use, sadly. And we are going to give it a drink of grape juice. And I don't know what I'm kind of disturbed by how pale this grape juice is, so I'm not sure how this one's going to turn out. You know, if the ink is too pale, you know, I'm not like I have to have noodler's amounts of pigment in it, but you know, if it's too pale, it's almost like it's unusable as an ink. Although they shade better sometimes if they're a little more pale, so I guess it's a horse apiece, I don't know, but I almost tipped that over doing this, but anyway, let's take a look at it when I got it inked up here. So I've always liked the combination of purple and yellow, so if you're wondering why that ink in that pen, that would be why. We will set the grape juice aside. I got a mess I'm going to have to clean up here. Doggone it.
One pathetic sob story later.
Alrighty. So we'll just set them on the pen tray out of sight for a second. Maybe put them in the order I planned to show them, so I remember what's in each one. And so in my Nakaya Decapod Twist, you know, that's not bad looking. This has a soft, fine nib. You know, it's, hate to say it, but kind of a dusky purple. Wine. If this is a Halloween video, I might have to do a video with blood. Or children's tears or something. Whoop. Yeah, I think the wine has, you know, not amazing shading, but decent shading. And wine has the interesting property of oxidizing, so we may see some color change yet. Then we've got my fruit punch, right? Nope, this one's orange juice. Oh, because the orange cloud. That's why I picked orange juice. Ha 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 ha. Orange juice in my Platinum Izumo. Ooh. I thought it would be too pale. I was wrong. So this is a coarse, because that's what Platinum calls their double broad. Cursive italic. And it is orange juice. Well, really orange mango juice. But, hey, who's counting? So there's my orange juice. And I think that's legible. I think both of these could be used as a regular ink. You don't have to buy a big, expensive bottle of ink. I mean, let me grab the orange juice rolled here. I mean, Nathan Tardif will sell you a 4-ounce bottle of Apache Sunset. Here it's 10 fluid ounces, and I get a toy with it. Bargain. Other than the color thing, this was disgusting. And it's carbonated. Ah! That was nasty. I did not know I was a wine snob until tonight. Okay. Drew a blank there. Aurora 88. I'm still thinking about the wine. This one I filled up with fruit punch, but this has a broad nib on it. It's a classy Italian pen. Kind of jealous that she didn't get to drink the wine. Was it fruit juice? No, it was fruit punch. She had to be relegated to low-class fruit punch. With fruit flavors. That's a nice red, though. If you ever watch little kids when they're drinking this crap, they'll get it all over their lips and all over their faces and just stained red. They look like they're little zombies eating people. I think it looks good in the pen. And finally, let's see how the grape juice turned out in the Parker Duofold. See, now that is a natural fit. This purple with the yellow, I just think that's classy looking. All jokes aside. This has a medium nib in it. And, of course, it is... Actually, it wasn't grape juice. I wrote grape juice, but it's actually grape punch. Whatever that means. No, I don't drink soft drinks. So, it's kind of a nice purple. I don't know, would you call it I don't know what I'd call it. But it's a nice purple. I like it. And I totally didn't see that coming. I thought this one was going to be pale and watery, but doggone, I like it. So, now I've got some pens inked up for next week, and I guess if I get thirsty, I can suck on the nib. If you want a little pick-me-up in class, I've got a nib I can suck on. Okay. I just want you to remember what today is. And maybe don't try that at home. I'll reveal next week what really went into those pens. And yes, through the magic of camera editing, I did switch out my little souffle cups of ink and juice and whatever. So don't try things that aren't ink in your fountain pen. So, well, thank you for watching. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.